Hi students, I am your Mahesh sir. Today we are going to discuss the new topic from the chapter, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. Today we are going to discuss about the new topic, the making of nationalism in Europe. You just think about that. Because before the mid-18th century, in Europe, there were no nation state. If you look at the map of mid-18th century Europe, you will find that there were no nation state. We all know the important countries of the Europe today, especially Germany, Italy, and Egypt. These countries were divided into kingdoms. Duchies and cantons, whose rulers had established their autonomous power over these areas. So I told you, especially in Europe, before the mid-18th century, there were no nation state. Most of the territories of Europe were controlled by different monarchies. Okay, now we can discuss something more about the Europe. In eastern and central part of the Europe were under the control of autocratic monarchies, especially in eastern and central part of the Europe. And within these territories, there were diverse groups of people. So, diverse groups of people, we meet that different groups of people. Different groups of people, they followed different culture, they spoke different languages, they followed different lifestyle, everything were different. And especially I told you, in these areas, different groups of people. And the problem is that these different groups of people, they did not see themselves as sharing collective identity or common culture. That is the main problem, because I told you, within the territories, there were different groups of people living. But problem is that these different groups of people, they did not see themselves as sharing collective identity or common culture. So these people, they spoke different languages, even they belonged to different ethnic groups also. Okay, this was the condition of the Europe mid-18th century. Now we can discuss about the another important one empire, that is Habsburg Empire. That Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria and Hungary. That Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria and Hungary. But it was the patchwork of the different regions and peoples also. Okay, and listen here, the Habsburg I told you, and this Habsburg Empire, there are also different groups of people lived. Okay, different regions also, and especially one region is that Alpine region. That Alpine region, the Tyrol and Austria and Sudetenland as well as Bohemia. So the problem is that the aristocratic people from this area, they predominantly German speaking. The aristocratic people from this area, they mainly or they predominantly German speaking. At the same time, it also includes the Italian speaking provinces, especially Lombardy and Venetia. The Lombardy and Venetia, these are the two important Italian speaking provinces. And now we can just discuss about that Hungary. So about the Hungary, in half of the population of the Hungary, they spoke the language Magyar. While other people, they also different dialects. They also speak in different dialects. In Galicia, Galicia is another important one. There also aristocracy, mainly they spoke Polish language. And in this Habsburg Empire, I told you different groups. They follow different languages. They belong to different ethnic groups. Not only these aristocratic people, some other groups, especially peasants groups of people also lived there. Especially Bohemians, Slovaks to the north, Slovens in Carniola, and Croats to the south, and Romans to the east in Transylvania. So these are the different groups of peasants groups also lived there. I think you all understand the condition of the Euro or condition of the Habsburg Empire. Actually, the Habsburg Empire, it was a very vast empire, but in that empire, different groups, different regions, etc. they lived. Okay, such a difference, such types of differences did not promote a political unity. Actually, I told you, I think you all understand these types of differences. Then how their political unity will be maintained. All of you just listen, think that such a condition or such types of differences did not promote a sense of political unity. Very difficult. Actually, it was difficult to connect these diverse groups of people because their loyalty to the emperor. Such a differences, it was very difficult to connect all these different groups of people or different regions. So that is very difficult situation because almost all these peoples, their loyalty to the emperor. So that is why. Okay, next one is aristocracy and new middle class. Okay. In Europe, socially and politically, landed aristocracy were dominant class on continent, especially aristocrat people. And the members of this class, they were united by a common way of life and they cut across the regional divisions. And about the aristocrat people, they were very powerful, but numerically they were small group. And they owned estates in the countryside and towns also. For the diplomacy, these aristocratic people, they spoke the language French and getting high position in the society. And their families were connected by ties of the marriage. Okay, so I already told you, especially these aristocratic people, they were very powerful, but their number or numerically they were small groups. Okay, and socially and politically, aristocratic people, they were very dominant class on the European continent. But I told you, for the diplomacy, they spoke the language French and getting high position in the society. And their families also were connected by ties of marriage. And the majority population of the Europe. So now we are going to discuss about that because I told you socially and politically aristocracy were the dominant class. But the majority of the population of the Europe, they were peasants group. They were the majority population, they were peasant group. Okay, and to the west, the bulk of the land were farmed by tenants and small owners. In Europe, to the west of the Europe, the bulk of the land were farmed by tenants and small owners also. Okay, and Eastern and Central Europe, the pattern of the landholding was characterized by vast estates which are cultivated by the serfs. At the same time, think about that Eastern and Central part of the Europe. How was their land pattern? The Eastern and Central part of the Europe, the pattern of this land holding was characterized by vast estates which are cultivated by serfs. At the same time, in Western and Central Europe, the growth of industrial production and trade led to the growth of commercial classes. And these commercial classes, their existence based on production for the market. Okay, that industrialization began in England in the second half of the 18th century. We all know that England or Britain was the first country. But this industrialization in France and parts of the German state, it occurred only in 19th century. Actually, it also led to the development of new social group came into being. Okay, I told you actually industrialization began in England firstly. After that, France and other parts of the Germany, it occurred only in 19th century. Actually, these conditions also led to the development of new social group came into being. They were a working class population and middle class population. And this middle class mostly made up of industrialists and businessmen and professionals, etc. And they were very educated, and middle class and liberal class or liberal people, their ideas of national unity led to the abolition of autocratic privileges. It also gained popularity. Okay, once again listen here. I told you actually industrialization, it also led to the development of the new social groups came into being on. They were new class, middle class people or working class population, and especially middle class, it made up of businessmen and professionals and industrialists. Okay, actually their work for the national unity, it spread everywhere. Okay, actually the middle class people in their mind actually started the idea of the nationalism. It is spread everywhere in Europe. Okay, I think today this much only. I think you all understood. Today we discussed about that, the making of the nationalism. That means before the mid 18th century, the condition of the Europe. Then after that we discussed about that who were aristocrats and their position in the society and new middle class. Okay, anyway, thank you students.